What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is Leo's Nerd Talk, and today we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving. So let's stuff some turkey.
Stuff the shit out of it.
Thanksgiving is the newest film by Eli Roth. It takes place in this kind of small town where, after a tragic event the previous year, there is now a murderer running around killing people that were involved in this accident, dressed up as a pilgrim, hence the Thanksgiving theme, and does some pretty cool, neat kills with some Thanksgiving theme as well. Now, I walked into this movie kind of feeling like it was going to be something that was really cheesy, kind of corny, super campy, something to just kind of go in there and have fun with. And you do get a lot of that. You do get a lot of those elements, all those aspects in it, but it does kind of take itself in a sense pretty seriously. There's of course a lot of different kind of recognizable feelings when it comes to this movie with other horror slashers, as you kind of expect with most slashers. It's kind of hard to kind of build a brand new template. It's very easy to kind of copy and paste and kind of throw your own kind of twist into it, and having that Thanksgiving element definitely helps within that realm. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the pros for me. One of the pros was honestly, the kills were pretty gory. I love seeing the practical effects. Having the real blood is always great to see. You never want to see too much CGI. Of course, there's still a touch here and there in a couple of scenes where you can definitely tell that it was CGI in a certain sense, but a lot of the gore and a lot of the kills were pretty practical, and it's always nice to see that within a horror slasher movie, to see practical effects being used. And with the practical effects, it goes hand in hand with some pretty creative kills. A lot of Thanksgiving themed kills here. One being particularly the way he kills a certain person and makes him look like a turkey. That was probably the funniest one and probably the most interesting kill out of the entire movie. And it kind of made that whole scene, and it was really cool scene, this kind of set that they created where they had this huge dinner table and all the victims being around it, and certain heads being on plates and having that big body looking like a turkey. It was kind of cool seeing all that kind of visual and having that Thanksgiving theme thrown out there. And it's nice to have something that's horror related within Thanksgiving now that we can watch pretty much every year. And it's definitely a movie that you can throw in. It's not too long. You can kind of just have it in the background, or you can watch it straight all the way through, enjoy it before Thanksgiving dinner, and have a pretty good time with it. So overall, I did definitely have a pretty good time with the movie. Really interesting kills, good visuals. I like the story. I like the aspect of it. I like the motivation. Once you find out what the motivation is, it's definitely, understandable, but there are still some things that I want to nitpick, which we'll get into the cons in a little bit later. I also did enjoy kind of just the aesthetic of the actual killer here, having that kind of pilgrim look. It was actually pretty creepy. It kind of gave me some Michael Myers vibes, especially when he's kind of just standing, staring at the victim, and they look away, they look back, and he's gone. So you kind of have that Halloween Michael Myers vibe to it when it comes to that slasher element. Like I said, which is, it's easier to copy templates than try to create a new one. But I did enjoy the actual costume or outfit of the killer. It was pretty interesting, especially having it within Thanksgiving theme. Another thing that I really enjoyed is that the reveal of the killer was, in a sense, could be obvious. You can definitely figure it out within the first 30 minutes within the film. But the movie does a pretty good job of actually trying to throw you kind of wrenches in the gears and throw you off the scent of who the killer is, and start making you think that it's the boyfriend, it's this baseball player, it could be the dad, it could be there's so many different people that it could be, and they all have their certain reasons to do so. So it kind of throws you off the scent of who the actual killer is. And when you do get the reveal, it's satisfying enough, but I like that it wasn't extremely obvious. And there's certain things that you can catch on at the beginning of the film that if you don't notice it, or if you don't take that as like a clue, it could be kind of difficult to figure out who the killer was, which I personally enjoyed, especially in the movies that are heavily obvious when it comes to slasher reveals. It was kind of a nice refresher to have one that was a little bit more difficult, and I enjoyed that element of it. Now, heading into the cons for me. Unfortunately, a lot of the dialogue felt fake, un uncharismatic. It just wasn't put out properly, So a lot of the dialogue between characters just didn't felt emotionless. It didn't feel genuine. A lot of the reactions to certain things seemed very mellow, but overall, I mean, they still did a good job. There's still some decent performances. Having some actors here that, for the most part, I don't recognize a lot of the actors here. I recognize one from being in Grey's Anatomy, and I recognize another one from being kind of older Disney star that's kind of one of the main characters here as well. But acting overall can be kind of 50-50. Dialogue can be kind of choppy, acting be okay, but overall, just kind of that dialogue just seemed kind of strange to me. It didn't feel genuine, and throughout the whole movie, you feel that. You feel the dialogue being kind of strange, so it can kind of throw you in and out of the movie, just a tad bit. But overall, it's okay. And like I said earlier, with the killer reveal, it wasn't extremely satisfying. Once you find out who the killer is, and they kind of go through their whole dialogue of what their reasoning was, you can understand what their motive was. But it just kind of seemed, it was okay. And once the plot point of that killer being revealed, and our main characters being somewhat successful, it kind of felt a little unsatisfying. It felt like there were still threads lingering and ties to be, taken care of. So it seemed like this might be followed up by something, but you don't really know. It doesn't give you a definitive answer. It just, to me, it seemed kind of strange on the way they kind of ended it. They made it seem like, okay, they got him, but also they didn't get him. But it's never clear on that answer. So it just kind of left like a kind of weird taste in my mouth where I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if the ending was satisfying. And for a movie that was generally fun throughout the entire time and had some good kills, it kind of left with a little, kind of felt lingering at the end. And I didn't enjoy that part or that aspect of it. But overall, I did really enjoy the movie. And it's something that's pretty fun to kind of watch and kind of shut your brain off and just enjoy some pretty cool, gory kills and some Thanksgiving themed kills. But overall, just that ending was a little unsatisfying. And speaking on that with the whole Thanksgiving theme, one thing that kind of stood out to me the entire time is that this movie is heavily Thanksgiving theme. Of course, the movie is called Thanksgiving, but the day that caused these events to happen within the movie was an early Black Friday sale. So this is very nitpicky, but the fact that the entire killer's theme is Thanksgiving, but the event that caused this to happen had really nothing to do with Thanksgiving. It had stuff more to do with Black Friday. It's just a nitpick thing, and I'm like, I guess, whatever. It happened on Thanksgiving Day, but it was like an early Black Friday sale. So maybe if they made it more Black Friday theme, it could have made more sense for the motive of the killer. But I understand Thanksgiving is a little bit more of a holiday, so it's easier to make the theme Thanksgiving. But it's just a little nitpick thing there for me. When I was watching the whole movie, that's kind of something that was bothering me throughout the entire time. But overall, it was pretty fun, schlocky fun to have. Good gore, good kills, an interesting theme. And I had an overall genuinely fun time with the movie. It had a really good opening sequence that I really enjoyed. It definitely felt super 90s. A lot of the characters that were in here felt a lot of like really 90s. There were some annoying characters to be had here, but overall, I really enjoyed the movie, and I really think you guys should check it out. Especially watch this movie for Thanksgiving. It's definitely a good starter to the day. That's for sure. So let me know what you guys thought about Thanksgiving. I really enjoyed the movie. Let your comments down below. If you guys like talking about anything movies, TV shows, or video games related, consider subscribing. And I'll go ahead and see you guys on the next review. Thank you.